This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Hello, folks. How you going? It's been a big day. Tonight, I would ordinarily be having our mate Fitz on for the Magna Carta Learning Centre lesson of the week, usually happening 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, 6:30 everywhere else, except for the states that aren't like that. But not tonight, unfortunately. Had to postpone it this week. It is all due me and nothing to do with him. He is ready to go. And I've got to tell you, we had a guest on tonight, or at least lined up for this evening, that was going to be pretty flash. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to delay that for, well, I'm not sure. We'll try and work it so that we can work the show back in at some stage, maybe over the next few days. I have a thing or three I need to do, so I can't do the show tonight. There's a little bit going on. Yes, I see there's a few comments about what happened with 2GB today. I just... Guru is going to be held up to a great deal of ridicule after what happened this morning. And I think in most cases unfairly. Many of you believe he did something today that, well, certainly didn't help the movement, I guess, is what you're getting towards. I don't know that that is the case. I think there is much that has happened over the weekend. There is much that has happened in the last 24 hours, much that you don't know about. What part Guru plays in that or played in that is not for me to tell you. At some point, maybe it'll all come out. But I believe Guru has not done us a disservice in what's happened this morning, so please don't be carrying on like pork chops with me about him, because I support him. He, as I said in something the other day, he's taken the pick to the wall. So here, commending to him. He's just finding out how hard that wall is. Okay, and as I keep saying, words mean things, terminologies mean things. So you know, you're going to know what they're saying to you before you can confidently repeat that and believe it to be true. And that's probably a roundabout way of saying something, but that's all I'm saying on it at the moment. There'll be more to be said about all of this, but I just want you to know that I don't know what I can say. I'm being held to what I can and can't say a little bit. He has not hurt us. Just leave it at that. That's all a good thing. In fact, a lot of good things have come out of this whole Cookerwatch thing. So, and this is what I think we all should be focusing on rather than what happened this morning. We should be focusing on the positives that are coming out of this. Now, I'm not coming on for long. As you can see, I'm not really dressed and I'm running around. My hair's everywhere. Oh, that's right. We're always like this, aren't we? But I'm not planning on hanging out long because there is a lot of things I have to do tonight and I had to put Fitz off for it. So there's no point in me having a whole heap of show without Fitz on a Monday night. But anyway, there has been a great deal of other things that have happened in the background that you're not aware of. One of those things, I guess, has stemmed from one of my shows over the weekend or Friday or late last week or whenever it was, when I had a bit of a crack at Cookerwatch. I offered Cookerwatch the opportunity to appear on this show, to come and have a chat and have a discussion and do all that. But I did so on the proviso that she did give up her anonymity. I don't speak to anonymous people. I don't like people who hide behind trees and throw stones and then can't be identified. But I do respect her position that she has certain fears for her safety. And I don't know. I've never looked at Cookerwatch, so I couldn't tell you whether or not she has reason to have certain cause for fears for her safety or not. But I know the people in the movement she mainly attacks, and I've spoken to all of them, and none of them are planning anything nefarious towards her. After all, aside from everything else, this is a freedom of speech movement, and she's allowed to have hers. However, I do respect the fact that there are very strange and strangely motivated people on both sides of this argument. And if she feels that her safety could be compromised, then I'm more than happy to have her on the show, as long as I know who she is. Well, guess what I woke up to this morning? An email from Cookerwatch. I think the subject line was, "Okay, I'll bite." Now, I'll be honest, I didn't have high hopes when I read the email, because the line was along the lines of, "Yes, I'll appear on your show, but if you reveal my name, I'm going to charge you $50,000 for every time you use it. And if you agree to that contract, then we can go forward." You can imagine how well that went. So if you happen to be watching this and are thinking of sending me a contract, I do not contract. I do not contract with you, and I certainly will not contract with her in that regard. But I did put forward what I felt to be a reasoned email in response, where I invited her, provided we could agree that I wasn't going to get sued for $50,000 and that I am an honourable man, and better than that, I am a professional broadcaster. And if I tell you I'm not going to use your name on the air, then I won't use your name on the air. That should be enough for you. I would never knowingly endanger a person. And if you feel, or as I said, she felt that, and fine. Okay, we'll deal with it. We'll move on. So I did also suggest at the end there that maybe I would trust her. So I gave her my phone number, on the proviso that she agreed, under penalty of $100,000 for every person that she hands that out to or puts it on Twitter, that she can have it. At any rate, she's got it. I hope she's wise enough to use it wisely. I have shown her the respect and I hope a level of professionalism that she can raise herself to. I'm not sure she's not even at that level yet. We haven't had that level of communications. I don't know enough about her to care, to be honest. We're just setting out the ground rules. But we might have Cookerwatch here one night. And apparently they restream me on Twitch. So, hi, Twitch. I have no idea what Twitch is. Oh, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. Lando Norris goes on Twitch. Go and find out who Lando is. Yeah, I believe it's a streaming service of some kind. But no, I don't know anything about it. So if you're restreaming me on Twitch, congratulations. Yip-yah, woohoo. Hello to everybody on Twitch. Should I get a Twitch channel? Maybe I need to employ, what's her name? Cookerwatch, as my my tweeter person, because I got no idea how to drive it. You can all go in there and you have a little rabbit affair on me, and I could get less. I never see it. So I don't know. Let's see whether or not Cookerwatch can step up, hey? Because I'm open to communication. I'm open to levels. I'm open to all levels of scrutiny they want to bring. What I'm not open to is attacks on our return servicemen, attacks on people who have mental or other addictions that are inhibiting the way they may ordinarily do things. And picking on the low fruit. I was particularly incensed when they mentioned in Ben Fordham's interview, when I don't know if she's a they, them, or that, but anyway, whatever she is. When she mentioned about the elderly, And the old people, oh, they all seem to be over 50 or over 60 or over 70 or over 80. You know, when I was a kid, and, you know, I know to you that seems like it's a long time ago, but I was brought up with the understanding and grateful for the knowledge that my elders, my grandparents, those people that they had around them in their age, we were told they were wise in most cases because they'd lived to an old age, they'd lived a great life, they'd seen a lot of things, had a lot of experiences. They are well worth talking to. They are a font of knowledge. That's what I was taught. Apparently today, you know, kids of a certain generation haven't been taught that. They see old folks as out of touch, senile, eating soft food a lot, and have lost any knowledge they once had once they turned 50. Good Lord, you children are in for a shock. I hope I live long enough to see the look on a few of your faces. But at any rate, I'm not going to be able to convince you of that shock. That's just something that comes with life and experience. Because I was one of you, trust me, very much one of you. Now, not so much, but I'm old. I got a grey beard and a grey moustache. I don't dress very well. I look a bit weird. So therefore dismiss me. But to do so, you do so at your peril. And people like me because we have information we could help share with you, help you understand. Not tell you what to think, but help you understand. And from the email that I sent back to Cookerwatch today, I hope I have built a platform from which she can begin her level of understanding. And that level of understanding that I asked her to research, investigate, and understand is to be able to tell me the difference between sovereign and citizen. It's that simple. Once she goes away and does a bit of research and can actually understand the difference between the two, then we've got a starting place. Because I'm not going to argue about sovereign citizens because that's an idiot's argument. And I will not be sucked into an idiot's argument. I may propel a few, but I won't be sucked into that one. So, no, we won't play that game. So that's the way it's currently playing out with, I want to keep saying cowbell girl. Jesus. I don't know where that's coming from. Cookerwatch, whatever it is. Cowbell girl. No idea. Anyway, that's going to play out however it plays out, and hopefully respectfully, because that's my full intention. It's a respectful intention. As I said, I think in my show and in the email that I replied to her today, I genuinely believe the people she's got behind her creating memes and making funny stuff, some of it is outstandingly funny. And it does deserve a place. Now, I'm not sure what place that is yet, but it does deserve a place. And I would like to help give them that place eventually. And I mean that quite genuinely, not a kind of a trap or any kind of thing. You've got some funny shit. You're good artists. You think, well, it's funny, it's good. And humor is such a uniting thing. Now, if you can aim that humor in the right direction, it becomes a very effective weapon. So my question is, rather than being a bunch of, juvenile twats running around on Twitter thinking you are communicating, are you ready to step up? Are you able to tell the difference between bullshit? Or if you believe the bullshit, can you hold your argument rather than just resorting to calling names and abusing people for how grey their hairs have got on their face? Can you step up to a real level of communication? That's my question. If you can, then you have the potential to come here and be a very powerful voice on the Voice of Freedom. I told you I spot talent. So, do you have the potential? That's my question. I don't know. I'm not. Some, yeah, but I've only seen your drawings. I don't know how you think, feel, or whatever. And judging by your drawings, it's not the way I do. But that doesn't mean we can't be friends. You're allowed to have a different opinion. I'm not going to chastise you for it. I will chastise you for turning your humour, your memes, your insults. Chili, pardon the dog, she's a bit excited. I will chastise you for targeting our return service people, our elderly. I will chastise you for blurring the argument. Now, I'll give you a way to clarify the argument, to clear up any misunderstanding, like the difference between sovereign and citizen, and why you can't put the two together and claim something out of it, because it's an oxymoron. And if you don't know what the fuck that is, go and look it up. So let's make this a way forward, hey? Neo says hi to Chili. Thank you, boys. Hey, Chili, Neo says hi. Apparently there are quite a few dogs that have met Chili now who watch the show, and if she carries on in the background, they're all jumping around having a look. So hello, Bella. So yeah, that's the offer. That's the deal. And that's my question. I don't really expect much out of your little group, to be honest. I really don't. But everybody gets a chance, and this is the voice of freedom. It's not my voice, it's yours. You have a voice, it's opposing an opinion to mine, but that doesn't mean I won't let you say it. What I won't let you say it in a way that it's abusive or dismissive or incorrect. All right? I will hold you to what you say. I will ask you to prove it, as I forgot to do in my email, so I'll do it now to Cookerwatch. You made a claim in your chat with Ben Fordham that somebody has gone to jail because they didn't pay their mortgage. Now, it's my understanding that you do not go to jail for not paying your mortgage. It's my understanding the bank comes along, takes your house off you, throws you out of it, sells your house, and then comes to you for whatever you owe them over and above whatever they were able to sell the house for. They don't throw you in jail for it. They might throw you in jail for objecting to be thrown off your land, out of your house by a sheriff who's come along to act on a illegal bank document that they want to serve. That might put you in jail, but you're not going to jail for not paying your mortgage. So if we are going to tell stories, let's be truthful. Let's be honest. Okay, let's not embellish. Let's not debellish. Let's not omit. Let's be honest. So do not frame a story with half the truth. Tell the truth. Let the people decide. What's it matter to you? You can have an opinion, but tell the truth first and foremost. All we have is trust. All we have. Me trusting you, you trusting me. I'm talking to Cookerwatch now, but I suppose that goes to everybody. All we have is trust. So I have a professional level of trust in you at the moment. I don't know whether you're professional or just some 12-year-old hiding behind the schoolyard, seesaw, texting madly into your iPhone. And if you are, got some good memes, give me a call in 10 years. But I don't know, if you are capable of stepping up, if you are capable of having a real voice in this movement, then let's hear it. All up for that. Every bit of it. It's a serious game, okay? You found out what stepping up with the professionals is like over the last few days. It's what it's like. There's no surprise. So step up, come and play. Can be hard ground for everybody. So that's my offer. Step up and play. But don't be a divisive point in this argument. Not interested in division, not interested in humiliation, not interested in persecution. Interested in really two things: unity and community. That's what the Voice of Freedom is all about. That's what my place is all about. And that's why, between us, we've been able to establish over 70 of them in the last 4 or 5 months. 70 of them around Australia. Interestingly, not a lot of them in Sydney. Katoomba, or going up the hills, yep. Got a little bit of interest in some places in Sydney, but, pretty apathetic mob for the most part. But everywhere else, huge amount of interest. In fact, Sydney and Melbourne, diametrically opposite. I wonder why. Pretty weird. But anyway, my place is going to grow. Unity through community. That's what we breed. So Cookerwatch. Can you be a leader? Can you step up in your community and lead? Doesn't mean you've got to agree with me, but can you step up and lead, take a modicum of control, direct a conversation so that when you disagree, it is done so in a civil, objective, unemotional way, non-abusive way. Now, if you can do that, I reckon we've got a bit of a future together. I'd like that. I like creative people. I like good thinkers. We'll see how much you think. Thank you, Maria. I look a bit weird. Listen, here you go. Let's talk about what I look like. I've had a lot of comments about what I look like recently. This isn't a bitch or a whinge. I know I'm fat. If you want to tell me I'm fat, go ahead. I don't care that you want to tell me I'm fat. If it's something you really feel I'm so stupid I haven't realized myself yet, then feel free to enlighten me one more time. Okay? If it makes you feel better, if it makes you feel stronger, if it makes you feel like you've got something over me, then go your hardest. Okay? That's great. Because I don't care what you think. I care that you don't ask, does he have a medical issue that keeps him overweight like that? Does he have some other reason that he doesn't talk about? Is there something in Carl's medical past we don't know? Is he really wearing a fat suit in disguise? No, I'm not. It made you think. That's what upsets me about those questions. Not that you care to insult me by calling me fat. I care that you feel it's an acceptable way to communicate. It's not. Okay? Just like you tell me every day my opinion doesn't matter to you, hey, right back at you. It's a boomerang, baby. The thing is, I don't get offended about it. Most of you do. Why don't I get offended about it? Well, I've spoken about that in other shows. So, and I'm sure many of you say you don't get offended about it. And I'm sure many of you say, oh, it's all ego. Well, if I was displaying a huge amount of ego about anything, I'd be getting pretty upset that you called me fat. I'd be getting pretty upset about things that have been said today about Dave Graham, about me. I'd be jumping up and down and demanding you did something, or you wrote a letter to me to make me feel better, or I'd be demanding something out of you. I demand nothing from you. Right? I want nothing from you. My ego isn't involved in this. And I had this conversation today with a gentleman who at this point will remain nameless, but my ego has nothing to do with any of this. And if you can find evidence of it, rather than maybe isolated sentences that you've taken out of context, or I may have missaid something, then go for it. It's not my job to convince you of anything. It is my hope that I can convince you to ask a few questions, do a bit of research, open your eyes a bit, and stop insulting veterans, stop insulting older people. Sort of my mission to stop you being a dickhead. Sort of how I see it. See me as an older brother. Be thankful I'm not able to slap you around the ears. Because I might. No, I wouldn't. That's not me. But that's the deal. I don't care what you think, say, or feel about my weight. I care that you don't consider there might be other things at play. You just think I sit down and gorge myself all day. I don't. And anybody who's ever eaten a meal with me will tell you that. So, oh yeah, I must do it secretly. Well, yeah, I must. I must. There's a lot of things I must do secretly, eh? At any rate. Hang on. What are you doing? What's that? The problem we have, Carl, parochial bogans think everything is fine because the status quo keeps their kids in daycare. And the football stadium's rebuilt and the pub's open. Bill, you are so much on the money with that statement. Let me read it to people who are having trouble reading it. The problem we have, Carl, parochial bogans think everything is fine because the status quo keeps their kids in daycare, their football stadiums rebuilt, and the pubs open. You're 100% right. How many people do we all know who said, oh yeah, I went and got the squirty thing in my arm because I wanted to go to the pub, or I wanted to go to be able to see the footy, or I wanted to go and do whatever. Yeah, well, we all get to make decisions in our life. Everything we do every day, we have to make a choice, and from those choices, consequences arise. Some people have made bad choices in life, and some people continue to do so. So we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, thick skin, good boots. Pretty much how I see it too, mate. Tanya, g'day. Hello, Tanya. Nice to have you around. She's saying hi to everybody. Trying to scroll down and catch up with as much of this as I can because I haven't even looked at it. I have a hair out of. Yeah, thank you. Ange, what a very good question you raise. If someone was so concerned about their safety, why would they go out of the way to create a channel slandering people they do not know? It seems a bit crackers to you. Well, Ange, you're right. It does seem a bit crackers, doesn't it? Why would people go out of their way to create a channel to go and slam good folks doing nothing but doing their own thing and trying to do what they feel is the best thing they can do to help the nation? Well, they do so to create dissent, is my experience. They do so to create division. How do you know the channels that don't immediately start out to be divisive like that? The ones that use their real name to begin with. The ones that don't hide behind a nom de plume. That's probably a good way to begin with. And if Cookerwatch had have replied to me and said she wasn't prepared to share her name with me, then we wouldn't be having this conversation today. I wouldn't have even bothered you with it. Well, except to say too gutless to share a name, maybe. So they do it to create division. Now, okay, why couldn't they do that under their own name? Well, because they're afraid of being attacked personally. That might hurt their ego. This way, they can attack and be attacked while not hurting their ego in some strange way, because it feels like to them they're attacking a different persona. So they get to stand up and be that persona. You know how people have, those online lifestyles? That's how this happens, right? You get involved in your little twerker drum and everybody thinks, oh, shit, the whole world thinks like I do. Well, I got news for you, 1 billion Twitter twats, whatever you've been called. I can tell you, you've lost your cover at the Twitter office. It's all gone. Ain't none of those fact checkers backing up your facts anymore, and very few of them are faulting mine. Twitter has had a bit of a clean out, I'm led to believe. I wouldn't know because I've never been on it or don't know how to use it. So I wouldn't know how to find out how it's had a clean out or how many people have gone. But I believe many tens of thousands of people have been kicked from the platform or have deserted it because Elon's telling the truth. What have you got against the truth? What have you got against him exposing the illegalities of what Twitter was up to? And why are you still in it? Piece of shit service that it is. First thing we'll have to do about educating you is Twitter is social media. Step up. Come and play with the new media. Step up and try and be mainstream media. Maybe that's your level. Because you were able to get to Ben Fordham pretty easily. Now, I don't know. I'm more interested in how you got to Ben Fordham. That's my interest. First question, probably. There you go. Heads up. How did you get to Ben Fordham? It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, well, it is a relatively easy thing to do. All you got to do is go and fill in their feedback form. It'll get sent to one of the producers. It'll go to Ben eventually. If it's worth it, he'll see it. I'll get it to him. Maybe you went through that way. Why did Ben know about Cookerwatch? Why did Ben decide to give you 10 minutes and not Guru? Or anyone else for that matter? Yeah, I'm a bit interested in that association. Just saying. It's how I think. Especially when there's, a whole year of tax-free money on the line and 13 to 15 million bucks worth of our money being thrown in on top for the money they lost during the lockdowns. In your association, how did you and Ben meet? I'll ask him maybe one day. If he answers my email. I don't know that that's going to be the case after today. We'll have to wait and see. Maria, you say the loveliest things. Love my commentary. Looks like you don't look weird to me. There are a few of us under 52. Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make, Maria. We had respect for our elders. We may not have liked them much because they kept telling us shit and we didn't want to listen to it. Oh, back when I was young, we used to do things like vote with a pencil. Had to go and stand out the back, count them all by hand, then recount them all by hand. Don't hear too many people telling those sorts of stories now, unless they're really old. Been a long time since votes were counted by hand. Worthy story to know, though, isn't it? When did it change? Why did voting by hand versus voting by or counting by machine become important? Just questions. Something you might want to throw up and ask yourself one night while you're sitting around. Like a very good friend of mine recently was on the phone talking to me, and once again in the radio industry, and told me that he had been suffering deeply from insomnia. So coming from LED screens, can I tell you that? So if you have LED screens and you surround yourself with them, so I suppose some of you Twitter twerps do, be careful. It can give you insomnia. Oh, shit. The whole thing's fallen down now. Just trying to have a bit of a glance down some of your questions here. Freddie Biggs. Booze and junk food bring on obesity. You are right. Also, lack of exercise. You're 100% right. No vigorous sex life. You are embarrassingly spot on the money. It is what it is. I do have, if you are offended by really crass jokes, no, I won't tell that joke. I have a line that I use to shock people when they like to mention how fat I am in case I'd missed it. I won't share it with you because suffice to say, it's one of those lines that there is no coming back from. And it is it's not, it will give you a mental picture that you will never be able to escape. And I don't want to give you that mental picture. So just be careful. Ask me in private one day, I'll tell you. But yeah, I won't do it here. Booze and junk food. Well, not so much booze. I don't drink. Well, I can't say I don't drink because I have had a beer. I don't mind the odd beer. I do not drink. I do not get drunk anymore. I used to. I would be what you would call a binge drinker years and years and years ago. I woke up to myself, had a moment where an angel called Derek touched me on the shoulder and stopped me killing a man. That's what happened to me. That's how I woke up. So now I've learned to control my drinking to a point where I know when I've had enough. Previously, I never did. Now I do. And I don't like, I'm terrified of a hangover. Absolutely terrified of it. The last hangover I had lasted 5 days. And there was extracurricular drugs involved that I didn't know I'd taken. That happened in a nightclub in Surfers Paradise. I also spent some time in a watch house that night, drunk and disorderly. Asleep on a park bench, I think I was, when they found me. So, yeah, I've had some fun times with the grog, but not so much the issue now. Junk food, since I found out what they put in it, no, I don't eat any of the junk foods that you would ordinarily suspect. I like sandwiches. I like bread. I like white bread. I'm a bit fussy about what meat I put on there, and I don't eat any processed meat anymore. So I might have silverside, or I might have roast beef or something like that. But usually I like to cook that kind of thing too. So, yeah, I don't eat properly, but I'll grant you, I don't usually eat breakfast. In fact, for breakfast, you might find that I'll have one of these fucking cans of poison that I hate. Still, for some reason, keep drinking. And when I run out of those, you might find that I drink something like this, which is the cheapest shit lemonade that you can get out of a supermarket. I got to stop. My problem is sugar, not food. My problem is sugar. So, as so many others is. So, it's seemingly important to you about my weight, and a lot of people have contacted me about it. Some trying to point out that I'm fat because maybe I hadn't recognized that fact yet. And some who just want to be assholes and think they're terribly funny. I tell you what, if you dickheads can come up with a fat joke that I haven't heard and it makes me laugh, I'll give you $1,000. I haven't got a boat to give away. I've got $1,000. Well, I don't even have that, but I'll get it. So, but you tell me a fat joke that I haven't heard before, and I'll give it to you. But don't expect me to laugh, because the people who tell them are either fat people themselves, because they've learned how to use it as a shield, or they're cruel pricks who are trying to take it out of somebody like me. Which one are you? We can be good to each other, folks. It's not hard. We can have differences like Cookerwatch and I might have, but I can identify already in our communications a level of respect I can have for her. I'm not sure that she can have it for me, but I can have it for her. It doesn't matter if she can't have it for me. Okay? It's just how it is. I would like her to lift her game, her level of communication, her level of bravery. But this fight like that isn't for everybody. And those people can't be held accountable if they don't want to step up, if they don't want to identify, if they don't want to do whatever it is I'm doing. But they can be identified and they can be held accountable for the vicious shit that they spread, they say, and allow spread on channels under their influence. We don't need to spread this shit. We do not need to be vicious to each other. To all of you twerkers who are watching right now on Twitch or whatever the fuck it is, why is it okay for you to attack a returned serviceman that only stood every day in clothes he couldn't get washed because he wasn't allowed into where the laundromat is, every day for a year nearly, to simply say a few words, play a couple of military tunes, let people have their say, and ask the Governor-General why he isn't standing up and doing the job the Governor-General is meant to be doing. The simple fact that you Cookerwatch lovers do not understand what job the Governor-General has, and you cannot then possibly begin to understand how he isn't doing it, does not give you the right to attack Dan or the others that have been in Canberra. It doesn't give you the right to attack the million or more people that turned up there nearly a year ago and call them all cookers. No, it just points out that you're either ignorant or you're the kind of person that takes the low-hanging fruit. You know, it's easy to pick on. You're a bully. You'll just take the ones that are easy. You offer nothing to the conversation except insult. Well, that's not true. You bring some humour. I'll give you that. You bring some humour. But what else can you bring? Can you bring intelligence? That doesn't mean you've got to agree with me. It just means you've got to bring in an intelligent argument against me. Not name-calling, not bullshit. We're here to do real things. You hear us talk about changing the world. Well, we're bloody serious about it. Some of us do it their way. Some of us do it a different way. Others do it a different way again. Who are you to tell us we can't? We're not impacting your life. So far, we haven't been able to enact any legislation that's going to impact one iota on anybody's life. Why are you so upset? Why are you so dead set against perverting what the true argument is and diffusing it with things like sovereign citizens getting their windows broken, bloody idiots, you know? What do they think? Lawless bastards, you know, want to run around and not have any laws and not, you know, only what is it? Only look after or obey the laws they want to. That's such a bullshit argument, and it goes to show how little you understand about what this movement really is. So let's move on. We understand you're ignorant. Are you willing to be educated? That's the question. If you can, then great, we'll have a way forward. If not, then I reckon you're going to go the way of your mainstream media mates. The Twitter will go the way of the dodo. Probably sooner rather than later, just between you, me, and the gay post. But what would I know? I know nothing. I just see things and try and put it together. It's a big jigsaw. I've hated jigsaw puzzles all my life. This one I love because every one of you is a piece of it, right? Every one of you is a piece of this jigsaw, right? And I'm loving putting it together because when I get it together, what do we get? A unified picture, all joined together in harmony, showing something beautiful. You are all the jigsaw bits. I'm hoping somebody who's better at putting jigsaws together than me comes in to help, but I'm loving putting the jigsaws in place, the little bits in place at the moment. And identifying which pieces are key pieces, which is a corner piece, okay? Which is the, I don't know, best piece to start the main building. I don't know. Which are the most special pieces when you go to build a jigsaw? Or is it just like I'm finding, random bits, you see it, they pop out at you and say, oh, wow, there's a piece. Let me put that over here. That's a useful piece. I know where to do with that. I may not have a place to put that piece right now, but I know where it's got to go. It's all a big jigsaw, folks. Which part of the piece are you? And to the twerkerarchy and the Twitter bitches and the, I don't know, what's the other thing they're on? Twatch, something. What are you? Okay, abuse me. You can go your hardest on your platforms. Trust me, I won't be reading them. You can go your hardest on my platforms. Trust me, I won't be reading them. If you do choose to abuse, it just is demonstrating to those of us that don't your level of intelligence, your level of understanding, and just why you missed the IQ test. Because while many of you might have missed the jab, maybe you haven't got the whole point yet. So anyway, that is my offer. This is a communications platform, but I am a serious fucking player. I come at it with a professional attitude. I know a lot of the others say they come at it too with a professional attitude. Well, I have no doubt they are going at it as professionally as they can. And good luck to them. I will help wherever I can. But if you want to come and play on this platform, lift your game. Become a communicator. Even if it's to communicate a message that I don't agree with, I will give you that platform. But be prepared. You won't get free rein. You will be made to prove your point, to show the facts, to justify your position, just as you want me to justify mine. And I am very prepared to. That's the ground rules. Come and play. Please. All right. Jeep. It's so hard to find single unvaxxed ladies these days. Mate, I don't get any offers vaxxed or unvaxxed, and I'm not looking. So I don't know. Is it? Maybe. I can't help you there. I'm the last person to come to love advice. And maybe that's an idea for a show, though. We can do an agony aunt. Oh, speaking of ideas for the show, I have been approached by a friend of the show who finds themselves in need of a qualified, fairly high up, or fairly highly degreely qualified accountant. Degree qualified is the basic qualification I think that's required. If you are an awake accountant, degree qualified accountant, there is a good job for you. Potentially. I can potentially hook you up with that good job. Please email me, carl@vofhq.com, and I will put you in touch with the business that is looking for an accountant, a degree qualified accountant. I have no idea what that means. I got 22 for accountancy in year 11 and 33 for economics. So you know damn well I am not going to be your industry, finance, or mathematician type minister in any future government. In fact, I'm not going to be anything. However, that's the deal. If you are an accountant, a qualified accountant, and you're looking for some work, I know somebody who's looking for somebody. So a very serious somebody. So please contact me, carl@vofhq.com, if that is the way you would like to go. What else is going on here? Yeah, you can see someone in the background now and again. That's because, and let me show it to you completely. That is because I just run a virtual background rather than a green screen. So if somebody gets in the light as they walk past, that's what is behind me. So my housemate and my daughter have been walking in and out and having dinner while I've been sitting outside. If I look that way, it's outside. Yeah, that's why you occasionally see bodies floating in and out. And with a flick of a switch, I can do that and hide the rest of the house. So yeah, that's how that one works. Luke, I don't know. I've only seen your. Hang on. Just a joke, nothing against you. Let me know if I made it funny enough to be a comedian. So she chipmunked it. Yeah, okay, well done. I wouldn't call me laughing, but okay. So yeah, thanks, Dave. That was what's going on behind me. I appreciate for that. UK stands with our Australian brothers and sisters. Listen, I really hope that that is the case, activated pineal, because, and I believe there is some interesting things happening. I can't really talk about them at the moment because I've only had them alluded to me by Fitz when I had to ring him early and break off our date for tonight. He let me know that he's been talking to Will again in the UK. Now, for those of you who don't know who Will is, you might want to go back and review one or two of the shows previously. Will is a very interesting and very intelligent, very well-connected man who is part of the common law movement in the UK. And they have some very interesting developments, I think, that they'll be sharing with us in the near future, and I'm sure will come back on the show again. We've just got to try and arrange it. The timelines, because of time difference, don't work out terribly well for us, given his work and associated other bits and pieces. So yes, I believe lots of things happening in the UK, and like I discovered on Australia Day, and hello to my great mate Mason. Yes, I do have a Mason. Who was telling me about his ride. He took his bike out for a ride on Australia Day. He was so proud and happy to see in the area that he lives in, which is a fairly well-populated area along the coast, proud and happy to see so many Australians out there, the great majority that are silent, who are out to support Australia Day and many of the things that we discuss in this program and other people discuss in their programs. It's great to see the silent majority out. Too often, the Twitterverse seems to think it has the monopoly on numbers. The silent majority, that's where the power lies. And we, you, are the silent minority. Well, some of you aren't so silent. But our job is to try and get the rest of them to be a little bit less silent. And I hope we can do that. Unvaxxed Tinder. Wow. Now, there is a thought. Now, I'm going to run this past my daughter, who is not a Tinder fan. Unvaxxed Tinder, daughter. Thoughts?
Well, they already have. You can have a vaccination stamp on your Tinder profile.
How do you know what you can have on your Tinder profile?
Because
She's 33. She can have a Tinder profile.
I don't have one.
She doesn't have one, right?
But they do have a vaccination stamp you can have, and I know.
Really?
My friend, have stayed away
Oh,
from the
wow.
people who have it.
So apparently on Tinder, there is a vaccination stamp. You can proclaim yourself wronged. I'm not going there.
You just stay away from them.
So you can choose not to be near them. Was that compulsory? Did all the sheep on Tinder have to put that tick on if they were?
No. That was just the people who were loud and proud about being.
Well, so you go. You got the loud and proud ones, so you can probably be fully assured they are fully plonked. No, what was that? No, you know what I mean. They've had a lot of things stuck in. No, that's the wrong way to say that. They've been jabbed a bit. They've been spicy darted. Remember that joke I was telling you I wasn't going to tell you before? I'm that close. There you go. Here's Jennifer, a single, unvaccinated, older lady. There you go. Hey, listen, maybe the Voice of Freedom needs to start a dating show. You know, I'll put out the chat room thing, and you can come in. You can have a bit of a chat, meet each other. I can be Greg Evans. Maybe I can get a robot, little Dexter. You're a match. Might be able to do the voiceover for it. Anyway, all good thoughts. I don't have the time to run that, so if there's anybody out there that would like to do it under the Voice of Freedom, no shit, I don't even know if I'm joking about that. There could be all sorts of things. Ange, what's about $65? Packet of 50s cost now. Oh, wow. Really? $65 for a packet of 50s? Thank God I don't smoke 50s. That's all I'll say. There you go. Here's another one. The rockin' housewife. I'm a 37-year-old woman, unjabbed but taken. Well, now you're just bragging. Good luck to you. And I hope he treats you well. So we're all talking about the cost of cigarettes. Yes, a bloody horrendous cost. And Ange would know. So thank you, Ange, for your input in all those things. Yes, you do see one, but it's not. Yeah, there we go. Right. It's not lit, you see. Hang on, where's my thing? There you go. It's not lit. If you like, think of me training myself off it by not lighting it. The longer I talk to you, the less I smoke, because I won't smoke while I'm on the screen, which is a good way of slowing me down. So how long have I been going? I was going to come on for 5 minutes and I've done 55. So there you go. You've probably stopped me smoking 4 cigarettes. Maybe not 4, 2 or 3. But anyway, there you go. This is working. The longer I keep talking, the longer it stays in my hand and it stays unlit. I do have a plan. It involves dowel, some different coloured paint, and trying to suck my brain into sucking on something else for a while, but got to get the dowel. Okay, having a bit of a glance. No dating site for you, Aussie Sue. Tried it once. It was enough years ago. I did once years ago too, and I'm talking about like just when the internet was starting. And that one day will be one of those stories that I'll tell in a whole different show about stupid things that happen online. But yeah, I don't go in for internet dating too much, I'm afraid. Now, Russ, thank you. I don't know, Russ, if you're an ex-doctor or anything. I'm going to shock a few people here. I was once told by a doctor that I must have really good hearing. And I said, why is that? And he said, because you're a smoker. I said, why is that? He said, because all the sucking continually clears your ears. You'll have very good hearing. Never had ear problems. Very good hearing. Very good hearing. So maybe there's something in that. Oh, okay, you'll have great hearing. Maybe you'll hear your lungs exploding. I don't know. Just saying. But you'll have great hearing. Hang on a minute. What's this one? Billy, 38. He doesn't have a Tinder profile, never have. I want a woman to see the sparkle in my eyes at first sight, not some picture on a phone. Bill, I couldn't agree with you more. I have to be... Oh, God. I don't think I should go down this route. No, I'm not going to. I have certain things I like in ladies. None of them are what you look like. To be first, as anything in my first 5 things I look for in a woman, what you look like isn't in the first 5 or beyond that. What you look like doesn't matter to me. I look at your heart. I look at your mind. If you've got an inquiring mind, if you're an interesting person, if you're a hard worker, if you've been knocked down and stand up rather than sit down and cry about it, you'll interest me. If you're a tough woman, if you're a hard woman, a strong woman, you'll interest me. If I can't get interested in the kind of human being you are, then I really am not interested in exploring any part of the body you may possess. Be that as weird as it is. That's just how I am. I am not a one-night stand kind of guy. Never have been. Tried it once or twice. Well, if I'm bragging, once. And not very good at it. Not very good at it. So choose not to play. And I've resigned myself to the fact that I'll be single for the rest of my life. I'm comfortable with that. So for whatever reason, maybe out of the blue one day, some girl will miraculously appear. Maybe. Never say never. But I don't run out looking for it, asking for it, begging for it. or even giving out signals for it. So I have other things to do. You know, my focus is you, us, the future. So I'm happy with that. I feel fulfilled by that. I'm not fat. It's just sperm buildup. That was the joke. See how I told you it shocks? Righto. On that note, oh, sorry, John. Hang on, wrong one. Yeah. So, right, there you go. There's a few comments there. Yeah. So that's me. I got to be into your head before I'm into any other part of you, or interested in being into any other part of you, if we're going to be brutally honest and share those sorts of secrets with each other. And I guess I can, because you are the family after all. We are the family, and I'm not going to tell you lies. You want to know something about me, I'll tell you. I'm an open book. You might remember something about me that I don't. I guess that's probably my deepest fear. But I have spent many years apologizing to people over my actions, my past actions, whenever I run into them again in my life. Because I've treated people very badly at times in my life, and I regret that terribly. Now that I'm a bit wiser, a bit older, a bit grayer, and I can see the mistakes that I made in my younger days. I take every opportunity when I run into somebody face to face that I've done something to in the past. And it could be a variety of different things, professionally or personally. Even if they didn't know it was me, as happens in the radio industry quite a lot. I owned up to it. I apologized. Our friendship had obviously gone years ago if I'd done something really bad. I apologized not to restore the friendship or because I wanted anything. It's because I needed to apologize for me, for no other reason. So if I've wronged you in some way, you're watching this now, I've got the dirt on you, Leibold. Fine. Get a hold of me. I'm easy to find. If I have wronged you, then I will apologize to you very sincerely. I regret a lot of my early life. That's why I refuse to regret what's left of this one I've got now. And that's why I will work for you tirelessly, honestly. I'll work for all of us. If it kills me, it kills me. You don't have to buy me a headstone. I don't care if nobody remembers me. Bury me in an unmarked grave. I've already resigned myself to that fact. It's no great shattering news to me. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't need to be remembered. As somebody suggested today, apparently. I got an email telling me that. I don't need to be remembered. What needs to be remembered is all of us standing up. All of us committing to make the changes required to better all of our lives. That's what matters. All of us to be recognized for standing up and trying at every turn to awaken as many people as possible to the heinous crimes that have been committed against us. And if you have an opposing view that there are no heinous crimes that have been committed against us, bring me your evidence, because I've got ours. Bring me yours. Don't bring me insults. Don't bring me humiliation. Don't bring me denigration. Bring me facts. And we'll go from there. You know, folks, I love you dearly. All of you. I can't thank you enough for indulging me again tonight, and I want to apologize to Fitz because our show, which should have started probably half an hour ago, isn't on tonight because I have to go now and do some other things. We will talk again, obviously, in the days ahead, but there is exciting things happening, and there is no need for us to be vicious toward each other. There is no need to us for those of us to gloat over what is perceived to be another's failure. That's not showing that you want to be part of the human race. You're not showing unity. You're not building community. You're just being abusive, childlike, and irrelevant at the end of the day. So I hope tonight some of you twerkers have maybe asked yourself a question or two about waking up. Are you able to step up? Do you really want to communicate, or do you just want to be dickheads? And if you want to be dickheads, that's fine. It's just I'm not going to give you any airtime, except maybe to point out what sort of horrible human beings you are, to take the low-hanging fruit, to pick on those with mental disabilities, those with physical addictions, those with PTSD, those who've served where you weren't brave enough, weren't good enough, or just couldn't be bothered to think about stepping up yourself. Because I won't hear that. But come to me with an argument, you'll do well. Why? Oh, shit, Annabelle. Queen Annabella, why am I trying to inject myself into Guru's drama? I'm not. It's not Guru. It's not Guru's drama. It's all of our drama. And today, a lot of the day has been consumed with people who've been concerned about Guru. And I've been fielding a lot of phone calls about just that. Now, I know you think you know what went on today, but trust me when I tell you that you don't. You have one perspective of what went on. I have different perspectives. That's all I'm going to tell you at the moment. I have different perspectives to you on what happened this morning. I am not injecting myself into any of Guru's drama. I haven't contacted him. He hasn't contacted me about this. If he wanted my advice, I'm sure he would have asked for it, would have freely given it. That's not a problem. No, I'm not injecting myself into anything, but I am talking about something that has an impact on everything that we are doing. So if you have a problem with that, Queen Annabella, fuck off. I don't care. There you go, Bill. Thank you. We are a team, and we are being attacked. And Guru's on the team. That's how it is. And like I say, there are things happen that, I mean, I don't know what you did today, but if I wanted to tell you what I did today, we'd be having that conversation. One day I will tell you what I did today. One day soon, I hope. But whether it has anything to do with Guru's drama or not, it doesn't. Doesn't matter at this juncture. I am not going to tell you that something is going to happen until I know for sure that it's going to happen. I need to work on that to make sure that it happens. So we'll see if it happens. There's no guarantees, and I won't be upset. My ego will not be damaged in any way, shape, or form if it doesn't happen. And by not telling you about it now, I'm going to avoid all the bullshit down the line when it doesn't happen of you saying, you said this and you said that, and now it doesn't work. I'm just alleviating myself with the bullshit. Geez, you nearly got me to light it. Good try. Put it down. Scrolling down. Thank you to the rockin' housewife who's married. Good on you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Disco. I think you've just probably enlightened folks their way. I don't eat McDonald's anymore. There you go. There you go. And here's an example, folks. Here is an example of the intelligence level that Cookerwatch delivers to us. I mean, what are you seeing in that, folks? Let's examine it, shall we? Shall we look at the name to begin with? Inner 666. With the tongue poking out by the look of it. She doesn't think I'm fat, just cooked. That's what you call a backhanded insult. Not a two-hander. And, maybe one day we'll talk about two-handers, and maybe one day I'll deliver a two-handed backhand fuck slap for you, because I've got to tell you, they're fun to deliver. Not so fun to receive. Very fun to receive. But they're pretty good to deliver. A lot of fun. Anybody who has 666 in their name, I've got doubts about you. And I don't know, to be honest, it's hard to tell these days. I don't know if that's a girl in there or not. And sometimes the people who post girl pictures aren't really girls. They're boys. Now, that doesn't mean I'm accusing anybody or I'm transphobic. That just means that some people like to hide their anonymity and their sexuality at the same time. And boys put up pictures of girls when they're pretending to be girls. So are you one of those? Inner 666? You bore me. My God, you bore me. Just pathetic. I mean, if you've got an argument to raise it. But trust me, I can insult fucktards like you 1,000 times better than you've ever dreamt of every minute of every day. It just bores me. It's low-hanging fruit. Okay? And while I enjoy a good laugh, I see skewering low-hanging fruit like numpties like you as almost, clubbing a baby seal to death. That's how I view it. It's just pathetic. So why would I pick on a fucktard like you? It's just, lift your game, people. You want to communicate, lift your level of communication. So weed is about to be big business. Freddie, I thought weed already was big business, just the government wasn't getting any of it. Are you suggesting that the government are going to get more of the big business? Or, well, I don't know. That's an interesting point you raise. A lot of people over the weekend contacted me that they were unable to buy gold or silver at the Perth Mint, at Ainsley Bullion, at ABC Bullion, and a few other places. I don't know. I did try and have a look on the Perth Mint site. Everything was unavailable yesterday. I think it's back today. I know people who tried to log into ABC Bullion and weren't able to log into their account to buy anything if they wanted to. Ainsley seemed to be able to provide everything, but I didn't go through the whole process to see whether or not I could walk in and pick it up. So I don't know. Did you have that experience at all in the last couple of days? Have you tried buying silver or gold and not been able to? Nothing available? Anything weird about buying silver or gold lately? I don't believe there's anything weird to be worried about with silver and gold. Please don't think that. But if you can't buy it at the moment, there's definitely a reason for it. And I reckon it could be a good reason, just between us. Aurora. I'm addicted because I've been smoking my medical cannabis cigarettes because my $400 vaporizer, second one that broke. What? $400 vape? Wow. I'm glad you've got your medical cannabis cigarettes, Aurora, because where would you be with a broken vape? So I'm pleased at least that you can medicate as required, and no emergency transfusions will be required. Trips to hospital. Oh, hang on, we've got the Neurum numpties in, do we? Yeah, Nurembergers 2.0. You're another kettle of fish. Another one I haven't really bothered with. Not sure if you got your name off my Facebook thing. Don't care if you did. Won't be sending you a bill. Nurembergers, yeah. Well, everything I've said for the cookers goes for you, mob. I could care less what you think, what you say. I don't believe what you've posted up there. I do believe members of your community have attacked veterans. And what you said there, let me just have another look. We don't insult veterans or age. We hold people who take advantage of them to task. All right. Well, if that is really true, then I would applaud those actions. I would qualify that statement by asking how and what you qualify as people taking them to task and helping the veteran is. I also know a great deal about something called stolen valor. And that's not something that I will play along with or support. And in fact, I go to great efforts to expose. So what you're saying is essentially you will have a go at because I know you have had a go at the returned servicemen there. You'll have a go at them because of why then? Because they're using other servicemen to what advantage? I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading something there. Maybe there's stuff further up in the chat I should have seen. If that's the case, I apologise. But yeah, I don't subscribe to your theories, boys, you and girls, Nurembergers, all that kind of thing. I'm all open for communication, respectful, honest communication. If I said you want to come on, you want to chat, I'm all open for it. But before you get on here, before I give you what pissant fucking publicity I can give you out of this, then I want to make sure you are who you say you are. I want to make sure that the message that you want to deliver, you can deliver coherently. And whether or not it's a message that is a genuine, honest amount of questions or whatever, or whether it's just some ploy to try and subvert the conversation or divert it in some way, shape, or form, because that's what a lot of you people do. Or you misrepresent what was said, or worse still, as happens in your Twitterati verse, you don't understand what words mean. You think you do, but you don't at the end of the day. And I don't blame you for that, because I didn't either. I'm not smarter than you. I just went looking when things were pointed out to me. So I'm encouraging you to do the same. If you don't come to the same realization I did, that's cool. No problem. I don't need to abuse you for that. And you certainly don't need to abuse me. Communication, unity. There is only one enemy in this, and you aren't it. Neither am I. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Have you ever heard that? Well, maybe we can be friends in some strange way, shape, or form. Maybe not. That's what wars are about, after all, isn't it? Doesn't Cookerwatch take big pharma money? Jesus, did I just see that? I scrolled past something really quick. Let me try and find that. I don't know. Maybe that was there. Oh, no, there it is. Does Cookerwatch take big pharma money? Well, I don't know. We'll have to ask Cookerwatch. If she decides to come on, she's making her decision. Yeah. So at any rate, unity is the only issue that's important, folks. Unity. Together we win. Divided we fall. That's how it is. Now, I will admit there are many times where others have gone off half-cocked. We're going to make mistakes. That's how it is. There isn't a plan to this. Nobody's directing it. We're all trying to do what we can with the best of intentions and with least amount of harm possible to all people. That's the plan. You can either be part of it or not. Anyway, thank you to the trolls that have joined us tonight. As you've probably discovered, I don't care. and a lot of the people in the chat don't either. Thank you to the folks who did join us tonight, maybe for the first time. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Hope you've heard something tonight that's made you go, maybe I'll look deeper into that. If it hasn't, if I'm being discarded, it's just that fat fool on the other end of your phone or your iPad or whatever you're watching me on, so be it. Have a good night. Don't go out on the roads. There are a lot of dickheads out there.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's rock!